In a world of CGI superheroes, Tom Cruise is doing this. He's not in a soundstage, he's not on a green screen, he's not surrounded by tennis balls on sticks. He's driving motorcycles off of cliffs in Norway. He's holding his breath underwater for 6 minutes straight. He's dangling from the side of an Airbus A400M at 5,000 feet. He's running like his life depends on it, because sometimes it actually does. But here's what's really insane. Tom Cruise is 61 years old. Now, most actors this age are doing Shakespeare in the West End or taking support roles in prestige dramas. But Cruise, he's literally throwing himself off of mountains. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning is not just a movie, it's a statement. Tom Cruise is the last real action star. And when he's gone, this dies with him. Cruise has been risking his life on screen since before most MCU actors were out of nappies, but it wasn't always this extreme. Go back to the original Mission Impossible. Yes, Cruise was hanging from that helicopter in the Langley Vault sequence, but they were practical, achievable. Dangerous? Sure. Death-defying? Not quite. Then came Mission Impossible 2. The free climbing sequence in Utah looked death-defying on screen.
I felt very confident with the team we had, and I felt confident that I could do it.
Cruise was attached to safety wires that were removed, and the most dangerous slip was performed by a stunt double. But that's still Tom Cruise clinging to a 600-foot cliff face above a 2,000-foot drop to the Colorado River. Most actors would have said, "Get my double to do that whole thing." But Cruise insisted on doing the 15-foot leap himself, take after take, until it looked perfect. He spent 5 days on that cliff, harnessed but committed, making it real. But the real turning point was Ghost Protocol in 2011, the Burj Khalifa sequence. 163 floors up, 2,717 feet above Dubai. Cruise spent weeks training and did take after take hanging off the world's tallest building. Each film pushed further. Rogue Nation had him hanging off a plane at takeoff. Fallout saw him halo jumping 106 times. Dead Reckoning put him on a motorcycle, jumping off a cliff. And now, in The Final Reckoning, Tom Cruise clings to the wing of a biplane as it flies upside down through the Blyde River Canyon in South Africa. The stunt was so physically exhausting that crew members had to carry him off the wing because he was so tired. Director Brad Bird said it best: "Tom doesn't do stunts for the adrenaline, he does them for the audience." That's when the stunts stopped being just part of the story. They became the story, and something extraordinary happened. Audiences started coming back to cinemas specifically to see what impossible thing Tom Cruise would do next.
In the turnover, and he worked so hard keeping the...
Tom actually did the climb himself. The rope is just a...
The Final Reckoning sees Cruise attempt his most dangerous stunt yet. So, let's talk about the biplane stunt. Cruise spent months preparing for a sequence that involved clinging to the wing of a biplane flying upside down through a canyon. The stunt itself: walking on the wing with no radio communication while the plane flies through the Blyde River Canyon. One miscalculation, one equipment failure, one moment of hesitation, and Tom Cruise becomes a very expensive insurance claim. But that's just one stunt. The underwater sequences took months to plan and film. Real depths, real danger. Cruise is actually holding his breath, actually underwater, for minutes at a time. Now, while other franchises are spending $200 million on visual effects, Mission Impossible is spending it on time, training, and the kind of danger that makes insurance companies weep. Audiences can tell the difference. There's something primal about watching real danger unfold on screen. I mean, your brain knows when someone's actually in danger, and it responds differently than it does to CGI.
We've been working on this for years.
Spectacular train sequence is done to invest the audience in these characters.
Mission Impossible is the most extraordinary adventure franchise.
Everything we're doing is underwater. We all know it's a dangerous environment.
But why is Tom Cruise still doing this? I mean, he's worth $600 million. He doesn't need the money, he doesn't need the fame. He could retire right now and live like a king. But he does need the audience, and that's what separates him from everyone else in Hollywood. Cruise is old school. He believes in the sacred contract between performer and viewer. If you give me your time and money, I'll give you something real, something you can't see anywhere else. And he means it quite literally. When you watch a Tom Cruise stunt, you're not just watching a movie. You are watching a man put his life on the line for your entertainment. I mean, that's a level of commitment that's almost Victorian in its honor-bound mentality. Listen to how he talks about it. "I don't want to ever disappoint an audience. I want to give them something they haven't seen before." This philosophy extends far beyond just the stunts. Cruise insisted on learning to fly helicopters for Fallout, not just sit in a cockpit and pretend, but actually fly. He spent months getting his helicopter pilot's license, then spent more months learning to do aerial stunts that experienced pilots wouldn't even attempt. And now, at 62 in The Final Reckoning, he's taken this philosophy to its ultimate expression, directing shots while hanging off a biplane wing. Because even when his life is on the line, he won't compromise on giving audiences something real. It's method acting taken to its logical extreme, and it's working. I mean, Mission Impossible and Top Gun Maverick made over $1.4 billion combined in an era when everyone said original blockbusters were dead.
I want to thank you, Rotten Tomatoes, all the critics, and all the fans, as we make these movies for each and every one of you.
Then he was going to have to develop his proficiency to a level where he could actually fly aerobatics.
Cleared into the area. Verify cameras are on. All right.
To understand just how unique Cruise has become, look at the rest of Hollywood. This isn't about calling out other actors. It's about recognizing a fundamental shift in how action movies are made. The industry has chosen safety and efficiency over authenticity and danger. Dwayne Johnson, built like a tank, does most of his action in front of green screens. Vin Diesel increasingly relies on professional stunt drivers for the dangerous sequences. Even the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the most successful franchise in history, relies almost entirely on digital effects. This makes sense from a business perspective, sure. I mean, CGI is predictable, it's safe, it's efficient, you can fix it in post-production. But it's also soulless. I mean, compare that to what Cruise is doing. Practically every sequence is filmed, every moment of danger is real. There's no safety net or digital effects to fall back on. Watch audiences react to the latest Marvel film versus a Mission Impossible sequence. The Marvel film gets applause for spectacle, but Mission Impossible gets gasps of genuine concern. Even among actors who do their own stunts, Keanu Reeves, Charlize Theron, Jason Statham, none of them approach Cruise's level of commitment. They'll do fight scenes and driving sequences, but they won't throw themselves off buildings or out of planes. Cruise isn't just doing his own stunts, he's doing stunts that most professional stuntmen wouldn't attempt. Now, what most people don't realize is the sheer physical and mental preparation that goes into being Tom Cruise. For each film, he spends months in training, not just learning the stunts, but transforming his entire body and mind for the challenge ahead. For the Halo jump in Fallout, he did over 100 practice jumps. For the Final Reckoning's biplane sequence, he spent months learning to fly solo and training for wing walking techniques that professional stuntmen refuse to attempt. For the underwater sequences, he trained with Navy SEALs to extend his breath-holding capacity. He's 61 years old and in better shape than most professional athletes half his age. His training regimen includes rock climbing, martial arts, helicopter flying, motorcycle racing, and underwater survival techniques. But it's not just physical. The mental preparation is equally intense. Cruise has to overcome the natural human instinct for self-preservation every time he performs a stunt. That requires a level of psychological conditioning that borders on superhuman.
As filmmakers, knowing full well that spectacle only matters out in the afternoon and dunking on that.
Accusers.
Tom Cruise might genuinely be the last of his kind. And when he's gone, so is the style of filmmaking. The kind that puts actual skin in the game. I mean, who's going to replace him? Who else in Hollywood has the combination of star power, physical ability, and sheer insanity necessary to carry on this tradition? The industry has moved on. Modern blockbusters are built around CGI and safety. The next generation of stars grew up on green screens and motion capture suits. They're not trained for real danger. They're trained for digital performance. He's not just the last real action star. He's the last link to a time when movies were made by people willing to put their lives on the line for the art form. And when Tom Cruise finally hangs up his running shoes, we'll all realize what we've lost.
This was your calling, your destiny.
Camera ship with the drone just to verify everything, then we're gonna get ready.
So, the next time you see Tom Cruise jump off a mountain or hang from a helicopter, just remember, it's not CGI, it's not fake, it is cinema at its purest, most dangerous form, and there is literally no one else left doing it. Tom Cruise isn't just making movies, he's preserving a dying art form, one death-defying stunt at a time. But what's your favorite Tom Cruise stunt? Let us know down in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe for more cinema deep dives.